What is up, everybody? Welcome back into another daily edition of Hoop State Hoopla. I'm Miles Mastrocola, here joined by my producer and co-host Webb Wellman, who's wearing the exact same fit he had on yesterday.
Literally.
That's the call out I had for you. I was kind of teasing him. Webb, how you doing?
I'm good, and so you told me you were going to call me out, and I didn't know. That makes sense, because when I put on the exact same clothes as yesterday, I was like, well, maybe no one will notice.
Nah, I noticed. I noticed right away. I'm like, that's the exact same fit. Not a bad fit, but the exact same fit. Not nearly like the fit that we had from the opposing coach the other night here at Combine. That was a tough one.
Yeah, no disrespect to my boy Bryce Landing, but he had some real Bryce Landing.
Oh no.
It's all right. Bryce makes it work.
Nah, Bryce is doing his thing.
Yeah, Bryce makes it work.
So yesterday was kind of more of a variety show. I think today we'll bounce around for sure, but it's definitely a basketball heavy show with college basketball starting last night. I mentioned that one of my bets was UNC minus 23. They did not cover that. Luckily, I did have a good night in that department with the other picks I made. But Webb, I don't know if you're able to watch. I know I kind of sent you some stuff we wanted to talk about. Is the story from night one, at least from the Hoop State perspective, it's got to be probably Terquavion Smith, right?
I mean, yeah, duh. There's a lot. Like there was a lot of like awesome things that happened last night. But yeah, I mean, Terquavion literally looking like he had Jaguars written across his chest.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in for the Terquavion.
Yeah. So where did you stand with him when it came to his decision on going back to NC State, at least at the time when he kind of made it, I want to say in May or whatever last year?
I think it was the difference of like, I use the example all the time with Rod of, like, I thought they were trying to Josh Hall Terquavion. And what I meant by that is like,
there's a window here.
Promising him that he was going to end up in a much higher place in like a guaranteed situation. That's just what NBA teams tell guys, and they always want us, like, again, I think Terquavion probably would have been a late first rounder last year. There's a chance he slides into the second round where a team feels like they can steal him. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, let him fall down the board and a team feel like they can sign him in free agency after the draft. It's like, what did we do here? Yeah. And now him coming back, as long as he stays healthy and, you know, they don't deviate from the plan, he has the ultimate green light. Yep. He
has better players around him this year than he did last year.
Much better team. He has had a year to acclimate to the speed and
a year to lift weights.
And I mean, again, like if you watch that game last night, like he looked real comfortable. And the last thing you want is T comfortable. Like he had that pep in his step where it was like he knew he was better than everyone on the floor. That, to me, and long season ahead, but that was the ACC Player of the Year we watched last night.
Yeah, and I think you look at the Duke situation, the two freshmen that they have that are out that would be in contention for that, they're going to miss some time with Dariq Whitehead and Lively. They still got a big win last night over Jacksonville. Carolina struggled with a UNCW team that didn't play that good. I don't think UNCW played great last night. Shaquem Phillips is their best player.
Against the number one team in the country.
Yeah, but let's be real. Like that UNC team's not the number one team.
No, but again, even like skill-wise, even if they're not, that number being in front of their name to start your year, like, I don't care who you are, like, that's got to be nerve-wracking for those Wilmington kids. The only saving grace, and we know this because we're so involved with it all, but it's like, a lot of those kids have been playing against big games and against big players, throughout their high school career. So like the Jamari Thomases of the world, Noah Rosses of the world, Eric Vanderhyde, like all those guys, that might have been number one UNC, but it's like, bro, I've seen a lot of these guys.
And two of those guys, Noah and Nick didn't even play last night.
Right,
like,
saw that.
Like, assuming, I know Nick got banged up, I'm sure Noah's a younger kid, he'll get worked in. You mean, like that UNCW team is going to be a threat in the CAA this year if they play better than they did last night. I think
I'm so excited. Like, I think I might, depending on the schedule and everything, like I really want to go watch when College of Charleston goes to UNCW.
Oh yeah.
I think that game is going to be.
Oh my God, yeah. You got to think there's so many dynamics with that, with coaching staffs, players.
I just hope Wilmington knows that. Like, I hope the kids, the students in Wilmington understand what they have. And I've never been to a UNCW game, but I've experienced basketball in that city, and it's like, it's hard.
So I went last year when Charleston played Wilmington. And Wilmington got a close win. They had Jalen Sims last year.
How full was it?
Full.
Really? Okay,
like 80-90% full. Like the place was rocking.
Nice.
It was fun. It's a great atmosphere, and I think both those games, the one at Charleston and the one at Wilmington this year, are going to be fun. I'll probably be at both those games. So that was good. Charleston won last night too. Ben Burnham, one of their better players, he came off the bench. They got the win. And then two of the other things kind of from the state of North Carolina that are worth mentioning. Queens, first D1 game, coach is suspended. There's a lot of stuff going on, but they found a way to win their first Division I game at home. And Kenny Dye, who...
Hold on. Before we even die, I'm not done with Terquavion.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep going with Terquavion. We'll get into Queens and Cade Tyson later.
How many games does NC State have to win, or where in the rankings in conference do they have to finish in order for Terquavion to... Because you know what I mean? Like, even if he's the best player in the conference, if they finish towards the bottom of the ACC, they're not going to give him that award.
So, I think there's a few different things at play. I think, obviously, Kevin Keats has found himself in a situation where they have to win this year for him to make sure his job is safe. And last night was a really, really encouraging sign. Granted, it was against Austin Peay. So I think if NC State, there's 20 conference games in the ACC now. If NC State can go at least 500 in the ACC and get one or two good non-conference wins, they have a good opportunity coming up against Kansas, which I think is a game that they can win, as crazy as that sounds. Like, I think Kansas
That's in the Bahamas?
Yeah, Battle for Atlantis. Max will be there. So I think for NC State, if they can rack up a couple signature wins, steal a game against Duke or Carolina, which I think another situation like this NC State team is capable because of the two guards you have and the variety of options around them. The transfer portal guys look good. Granted, it was against Austin Peay. I think if NC State can win half their conference games and tease, flirting with 20 to 22 a game and 4 assists, 5 rebounds, that ACC Player of the Year is right up for grabs, unless Armando Bacot just goes absolutely crazy.
That was going to be my next question is he, obviously he's one of the biggest pieces of competition in that regard.
Has to be.
Is there, who else?
It's tough. Florida State lost to Stetson last night. I would have said Caleb Mills, but he didn't play great. Florida State didn't play great. UVA struggled a little bit with NC Central. They hung around with them last night. Boston College is, all right. Virginia Tech has players, but I don't know if they have a single guy that's going to go ahead and win it. Georgia Tech, going to be tough for them.
There's always a random kid from one of the lower level,
like Pitt or something.
Yeah,
I remember Champagny at Pitt averaged like 20 and 13. He probably should have won ACC Player of the Year that year, but they were just so bad.
What's the over/under for Terquavion's scoring average at the end of the year?
I would say 21.5.
Yeah, I'm going over on that.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being over too. The only thing is like this, they don't need him to do that as much. I mean, they're going to in certain games, but like
if he's bopping around like he was last night, he's scoring 25 a night.
Yeah.
And I mean, like to me, the question becomes in that regard, it's like efficiency. He's going to get to the points he wants.
I think he had, what did he finish with last night? 26 on 15 shots?
Hold on, I've got it pulled up.
26 on 15 shots for a kid whose game by nature is not the most efficient.
32 minutes, shot 60% from the field, 43% from the three-point line, 72% from the free throw line.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing...
With 5 assists.
And the other thing that's going to help T2 is they did not have really any jump shooting outside of him last year. They had Helms, who was really up and down. Now You get Joyner, who can really raise up and hit a shot. You get Jack Clark, who can raise up and hit a shot. And now you have DJ Burns, who could win ACC Sixth Man of the Year coming off the bench because he's just not in the shape yet to play big minutes and for long stretches. But if you put him out there,
kid that'll have to catch up to the speed.
Yeah, but regardless, if you put DJ Burns out there for 15 minutes and he takes 6 shots, he's scoring 10 points.
Yep, which is basically what he did last night.
Yeah,
so maybe DJ Burns becomes a real problem for other teams when you get into like the tournaments, at the end of conference play. Like, you're going to give him a chance to catch up to everybody. And again, he's not going to give you a ton of minutes.
No, he's never going to play probably more than 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, he's going to be really efficient.
But he also won Big South Player of the Year playing 21 minutes a game last year.
That's what I mean. He'll rebound and do exactly what you need him to do, easy buckets, whatever. But
and then they got the transfer from Utah who's solid. They got the kid from LaSalle, Jack Clark, who had a good night. Breon struggled last night. I'm sure he'll pick it up. And then
where do they finish?
What?
Where do they finish?
They're going to finish higher than 10th. They were preseason 10th. I think they're going to I think they're going to finish like 6th or 7th in the ACC if I had to guess. ACC's down. Louisville stinks.
Right.
Louisville stinks.
I kind of forget Louisville's in the ACC.
Yeah, Louisville stinks. I think Georgia Tech is bad. I think Pitt's pretty bad.
Syracuse,
you never know with Syracuse, dude.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Jim Boeheim at the end of the day is still a ball coach. And they're going to run that zone and they're going to beat teams they have no business beating.
There's some of those schools that, like, I'm still old school, pull the TV in for the tournament. ACC got, like, so I forget Syracuse sometimes. I forget Louisville. I forget Boston College. Like, you just can't.
And then Florida State, everyone's like, oh, Florida State, they had I don't know if you saw this, they haven't heard about the freshman that got suspended?
No.
They got this freshman from France, Baba Miller, really good, projected first-round pick, got suspended 16 games by the NCAA because he got, basically he got his expenses paid to come to a camp, realized he broke the rules, family paid back the money, and they still suspended him for 16 games. And they lost
a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. And they lost to Stetson last night at home. So Miami, everyone was like, okay, they got, for anyone that doesn't know, and NIL has changed college sports in a considerable way. Miami has the biggest NIL bags to throw than anybody in the ACC, other than maybe Duke, but Duke is kind of hush-hush about their NIL setup. Miami is just, here you go. Like, the funniest thing with NIL
to be fair, Miami was kind of doing that before. And
Nevin Shapiro,
I know everyone was, but it's just like they were literally like dropping off a briefcase with people.
Yeah, like they were in that FBI stuff.
I met him.
Who, Jim?
Nevin Shapiro.
Oh,
I went out with him.
What was that like?
Exactly what it read in the Yahoo article.
Gotcha.
Like when the Yahoo article.
For those that don't know, Nevin Shapiro ran a pretty much a.
No, not pretty much. It was a Ponzi scheme.
I wasn't going to get to that. He ran a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
He 100%. He's in jail. I'm pretty sure. It was
in North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep. He's in prison.
Pay him a visit. Maybe get him a spot on the live show.
He's so funny.
Nevin Shapiro, 5'4",
not even
Jewish dude from Miami, was basically paying for guys groceries, cars.
Shaq lived with him
to get abortions. What?
Shaq lived with him during Shaq's divorce.
Really?
Yeah, he was just a guy with a lot of money. Again, it was illegal money, which is probably why he treated it this way, but he became the man in Miami by basically becoming the University of Miami's biggest booster.
Yeah.
Like all the football players, all the basketball players. I remember.
If you want to know more about it, go watch the U Part 2. That's probably the best doc explaining it.
That guy, I was in Miami and was before we knew who he was, he kind of took us out. And
I think it all went down, 2012, 2013 is when all this stuff went down with him?
I don't know when he got in trouble. And I'm going to leave out what year this happened with me because it would be pretty obvious to figure out, the player connection. No players were with us. But yeah.
I know the one other person that was with you. We could leave his name out. But
we have to. That's the reason I knew that the article came out is because that guy hit me up and was like, I was never with you. Okay, we didn't do anything wrong, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I remember when we left that scenario, that story goes way deeper, and I won't do all that today. Maybe we'll get into it later. But he, when we left, the guy who was kind of like managing the player, I was like, well, that was crazy. And he was like, yeah, I would never send so-and-so here. Like, that guy is getting in trouble.
And
he
got in real trouble. Like, not NCAA trouble, like FBI
No, again, he's been in prison for damn near 10 years now.
Yeah, pushing, 10 years
again,
in the
he went to prison for a Ponzi scheme. He was just so reckless, and he was just, but it was a cool night. Like,
I'm sure it was.
He introduced me to the guy that drafted Dwayne Wade, the guy who, like, basically convinced the people at Miami to take Dwayne Wade.
Damn.
And then the night ended in a strip club where he ordered 12 pizzas to the strip club, and one of the strippers asked me, I'm not good at strip clubs, I get like real uncomfortable real fast. And she was like, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from Raleigh. And she was like, oh, I know somebody from Raleigh. And I was like, oh, cool. She had an accent. I'm not like, this was like, she was very not American. I don't know where she's from.
Probably Latina.
Yeah, I'm from Raleigh. She's like, oh yeah, I know somebody from Raleigh. He killed somebody. And I was like,
Raleigh!
Okay.
Raleigh!
I gotta go.
Well, I'm gonna grab a slice of pizza and get up out of here.
Yeah, no, I was not eating pizza in this strip,
No. So back to Miami basketball in 2022.
That's the kind of rant you're gonna get.
Yeah, get used to that. We go from talking about Miami's NIL setup to strip clubs, and I don't think anyone in Miami would want it any other way. So basically, Miami dropped a massive bag to get Nigel Pack from Kansas State, who's a really, really good player. Isaiah Wong, who was already at Miami, another ACC Player of the Year type kid, said, whoa, how much y'all give him? I'm entering the portal. Y'all better figure this out. They figured it out. He's back at Miami. So
see, that's where things are going to get complicated.
Yeah.
Right there. And that's the other thing, too, and I don't, like, I'm more of the weight. NIL 2.0 is a lot more interesting to me than NIL 1.0. Because what I mean is like, as of right now, schools are getting away with, I look at like and again, this is no inside information, this is just like from the outside looking in. G.G. Jackson.
Makes his debut tonight.
When you look at G.G. Jackson, who was going to go to Carolina, and South Carolina convinced him to go there, basically. Early. And they did it by basically saying, what, your NIL value at this school is $2 million or something? And I think what people need to understand is that's not saying, hey, we're going to get you $2 million. What that means is if you come here, and if we're number one ranked for a lot of the year, and if we become national champions, and you're the player of the year, and all of these things happen, in that scenario, you're worth this.
Yeah.
We're not guaranteeing that. We're not giving you that, but we'll help facilitate and blah, 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 whatever. People got to understand that when you go on like that On3 website and it shows you their evaluation.
That's so
me and you could throw things against the wall, play darts and whatever like that. They're guessing.
So this is like, everyone was like NIL. Now like kids can make money off their social media following. At the end of the day, your NIL value is in how good of a fucking player are you.
Well,
at this point,
there. Yeah.
That's where it is. That's really the crux of it. Because, like, look at G.G. Jackson's social profile. G.G. Jackson, I'll look at it right now. I'm gonna guess G.G. Jackson has maybe 35,000 Instagram followers.
Well, this is how like the influencer market started. Like at first,
36,000
business. Yeah, that's nothing.
Nothing.
For a guy of his caliber.
So, but what I'm saying is, like the On3 or whatever, any of these websites that project the NIL, it's like, okay, this is what it is. It's like, no, I don't care how many. If that kid doesn't have a social media following at all, but he's a real deal top 5 player in the country, future top 5 pick, he's gonna push anywhere like at least $400,000 from whatever school he's going to. That's the going rate for a kid like that, at least.
Right.
So.
Right. I just need to talk to one of the kids at the end of the year that got it. Like here's what I was promised. Here's how it went. It was exactly what they said it was going to be. Like, I need to hear that.
And going back to Terquavion.
Even talking to Bob this summer, like, I got a better understanding of, like, well, okay, they are making sure everyone has something.
For sure.
And that's important for the same thing you brought up with the portal and, like, what about me and all. But that's where it's going to go. It's going to get to a place where it's like.
It's just an open market.
Yeah, the egos are. I think ultimately what it does is it's going to make it really hard for colleges to have super teams.
Very difficult.
Because again, if a kid's like, well, I can make more money going place X, Y, and Z.
Gigi's a perfect example of that. And then I think the other thing too that people are like, oh, NIL, like it's hurting college basketball kids. NIL is the best thing that has happened to college basketball in a long,
and that's
long,
why I say I'm
long
waiting for 2.0. I'll make a statement like that once, like, basically, to me, the first version of this, we got to get the BS out of the way.
Well, the NCAA literally is posting jobs for like NIL enforcement stuff. Like they're about to come.
And you're going to see a lot, like what's the one for NC State?
Pack of Wolves.
Yeah, like you're going to see a lot of those. And here's the thing, just like with any other industry, there's going to be versions of that are perfect. And they're working hard, they're doing it the right way. There's also going to be the underbelly side of that.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, they're skimming off the top, they're using players' names and likeness for X, Y, and Z, they're getting them in, signing their stuff away, and not performing for them. Like, it's going to get interesting. It was inevitable. I mean, your options for people that don't like NIL are either, well, then your good players aren't coming to college anymore. Mm-hmm. So, like, make your pick.
100%. Because
and I do believe now, overtime, second year of overtime, they have their lottery picks. Someone in the overtime elite realm is a lottery pick.
Oh, the Thompson
twins. That's all they need.
Thompson twins.
That's all. But what I'm saying is like that's where overtime elite takes their next big jump when they can prove like, hey, if you come here for a year or two, you can still go in the lottery.
And then the other thing that with overtime that they actually had success with this last year with the Don Barlow kid. Don Barlow was going to go to college. He was going to either go to post-grad or go college. He was like a back-end top 100 player. He went to overtime, used the resources provided to him, and got a contract with the Spurs and scored his first basket the other night. Yeah. So there's the rags to riches overtime elite story. Now, with the Thompson twins, can they execute a riches to riches where those twins, I remember talking to you like, we got to get them in the John Wall before they ended up signing because they were both...
that was Donnie, but yeah.
Yeah. They were both crazy, crazy special. And now it looks like Amen's going to be a top 5 pick and Asar's going to be a top 15 pick. And, there you go. And that's another thing, with, like you mentioned, Pack of Wolves. Terquavion Smith does not go back to NC State if NIL isn't a factor.
Say that one more time for me.
Terquavion Smith does not go back to NC State if NIL is not a factor.
And it wasn't a greed move. He just needed to have enough money to be comfortable.
Yeah. And a car to drive, maybe.
Right. And I think that, to me, that was the easiest transition. Top kids were getting cars from local dealerships anyway. Now you just have, like...
I'm not going to name the name, but it's the funniest thing in the world. I was dying laughing a couple weeks ago. I was on Snapchat, and a kid that plays in the SEC posted, and every single one of his teammates had either an SRT8 Challenger or Charger. I'm like, this is the most SEC shit I've ever seen in my life.
Very generic.
Yeah, for sure. But, they're 19-year-old kids.
I think for a while at State it was... What was it? Escalade. It was an Escalade or a Nav. It was one of those. It's a big SUV.
One of those big.
All the athletes in those, you're like, oh, he must be going pro at some point.
Yeah, he's driving an $80,000 SUV in 2007.
Do you remember Courtney Fells?
Yeah, a little bit.
This is random, and this is just because for the loyal people who are listening to us right now. I was at a party in college.
Oh, you've told me about this.
Yeah, and I'm only saying it because it's not going to affect his career now, because it doesn't matter. But Courtney Fells. We're at a party, 2 people started arguing, it wasn't like a big argument. Courtney Fells just walks to his car, reaches under his seat, and just walks back up with a gun. Not even mad, he was just casual.
Like, do I need this or do I not? Let me know.
We were like, hey dude, go put that back. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But that was when I realized, like, okay, NC State might be on some other shit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Courtney Fells just rolling around with a gun.
With a gat. Oh my goodness. So, but yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Gigi Jackson. You think Gigi Jackson has more value? Like, knowing what you know, whatever. You think Gigi Jackson will be able to make more NIL specific money at South Carolina than he would have at USC?
No question.
And that's only because he's from there?
Partially he's from there. Partially that...
But like from a brand standpoint, it's not even close. Like the UNC brand is through the roof versus...
South Carolina's in the SEC.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Wrong shaped ball though.
Understood. At the same time...
He ain't getting that TV money.
Hold on. The impact that a Gigi Jackson... going to South Carolina, who they don't get players like Gigi Jackson for the first year with a new coach. Lamont Paris can say to whatever booster club or whoever can say to whatever booster club, look, This is the best player to come out of the state since Zion Williamson. We can get him here this year. What we need to get this done. This is the number. Okay.
I guess I'm looking at it. I see what you're saying.
At Carolina, he's just another great player that's going to Carolina. They get great players every year.
That's about up front then. I'm thinking, like, after it's over and he's performed. Because you're right. Like, before he steps foot on the floor, South Carolina definitely has more leverage of being like, this is the guy. Whereas at Carolina, it's like, yeah, he's another guy. Mm-hmm. But if he has a player of the year type year,
which Gigi is very capable of doing,
I would argue that wearing that Carolina blue in a scenario where you are the number one team, you are the best player on the number one team, from a networking, NIL, like the whole nine, and a bias, obviously, like we're from here.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a bigger brand in basketball than UNC.
So the question now is, and I don't know the answer to this, some people might, would Carolina have forked up the Brinks truck to get Gigi a year early? That's the debate.
Right.
On a team where they kind of
don't think you can.
On a team that is preseason number one, granted they're not the best team in the country.
Right. That's what I was getting ready to say. Like, I think the way that Carolina folks typically are, I mean, like, from an administrative standpoint, like, they do everything they can not to look stupid. So to overextend themselves for a player when they're already supposed to be good. And then the other question too is whatever you do for Gigi Jackson, you got to do for the next one. Armando Bacot is taken care of equally, if not more so.
Yep.
And then you've got the situation of, well, if who's whatever. That turns into who's got more, who's better taken care of, and you're right. Like, that would cause some problems.
Yeah. So that's the thing there. Gigi Jackson makes his debut tonight. They play, I want to say they play South Carolina State, so that'll be good to watch. Should we move on to the game winners?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so to provide context to the people from my personal perspective, because I am a very selfish person, I had a plus 1,700 parlay. That is 170 to 1, with Queens winning, Hofstra winning, and Ohio beating Belmont. Kenny Dye, to start it, hits the buzzer beater to get that first leg of that parlay done. I'm going crazy.
That's the only one I haven't seen. It was. I couldn't find. I saw the articles, but I couldn't find the video.
Okay.
Of that.
So Kenny Dye, do you remember him when he was in high school?
No.
He played with Zach.
That's no disrespect to Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't.
He played with Zach Hobbs at Northside Jacksonville, and I vividly remember covering them back in the State of Hoops, North Carolina days. For those that the loyal ones out there.
Yeah.
And I was
at that school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they had a stretch where they were really good and no one talked about them.
Yes, I talked about them. But they had the guy there. They basically had a stretch where it was like Rob Cologne, and then they had the two young guards in Hobbs and Dye. Hobbs has bounced around. I think he's played in the CIAA. I want to say he's at Elizabeth City State still. I could be wrong. But he's had a good college career. He's won a lot of games. I know he had some injury stuff that he got through and came back. They had a forward named Gabe Kirkendall that played in the CIAA too. And then Kenny Dye, who at Queens has had like 120 and 22 career record over 4 years. Like just a purebred, thoroughbred winner.
Point guard?
Point guard. Yeah. 5'11", point guard, killer. Played for Flight 22, AAU. And then Queens gets bumped up to Division I. Coach gets suspended last week for 5 games. And they play Marshall, who is consistently a good program, at home. They come back from down 7 with 3 minutes left. Kenny Dye hits a buzzer beater to win the game, and the place goes crazy. Now it's a floater in the lane.
Tough.
And he finished the game with 24, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists, 2 turnovers. I think he was 9 of 15 from the field. And it was just an absolute scene in there. So I was like in a really good mood. I'm like,
probably a really fun celebration.
Really fun.
Like post-game celebration.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. For sure. And then Hofstra wins for me. That has nothing to do with any of this. And then Belmont is playing Ohio. Belmont is a good team, but a young team. I'm thinking, man, Ohio's the underdog here. There's value. Let's take them. Ohio comes back. They hit a 3 to go up 2 with 2 seconds left. Belmont throws a full court inbound pass to get to like the half court line, call a timeout.
Yep.
They have 1.1 second left. They run.
That boy hit the flick of the wrist.
They run our guy Cade Tyson off a curl. He raises up, sticks it.
He shot that thing quick. He shot that thing
quick. I'm like melting into my chair. I already texted my group chat thinking that we won. And then I'm like, if it was going to be anybody, it might as well be Cade Tyson.
Yeah, see, that's, again, I would lose, if I bet on games, I would lose a lot of money. Like, I would have won that one. But I would lose a lot of money because I'm not betting against something I don't want to cheer for. So in that scenario,
that's a split for me
just because of Cade.
So that's a split for me because I'm really good friends, not really good friends, but very cool with one of the assistants at Ohio. So that was like,
sure, always go with the players.
Yeah.
But again, I'm saying, like, I would lose. Like, if I was a betting man, I would lose more than I would win for sure.
Yeah.
I do think that, like, probably as I'm watching more with you for the show, like, I do think that, you know, until gambling is legal here, I do think maybe me and you should end the shows with, not today, but moving, like, maybe pick'ems. Where, like, if there's games I like and that me and you want to bet against each other, just for bragging rights.
Well, I'll tell everyone the games I have tonight. So I'll explain my gambling tiers because I kind of had to restart it with college basketball season. So I have 4 tiers. Standard, 1 unit, whatever your normal bet is, you bet it. The max play, 2 units, double the bet. Then we have the empty the portfolio. That's a 5-unit play, and then we have the drain the family accounts. That's a 10-unit play. We might get one of those a year, if that. I went 1-1 in max plays last night. I had Carolina and Charleston. Charleston got it done.
Hypothetically.
Sure. Hypothetically speaking. Well, actually, no. It's not a legal state, so it doesn't matter. If someone wants to come at me, listen, and all right.
Wait, what did you just say? It is or is not?
It's not, but we don't have any rules about talking about it because it's not a legal state. That's my point.
Yeah.
We have no regulations.
Allegedly,
the only reason I'm saying
you're betting.
Allegedly, if the FBI wants to come in and arrest me for betting $25 on a college basketball game, please do it. I would make
take my name and face off that statement. I don't want.
No, he doesn't bet. I mean,
there we go. Come after him.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 20.
I'm a man.
But at the end of the day, like, I would gladly be a martyr for gambling if someone were to arrest me for placing bets.
You are a wild boy on the internet right now for saying that.
Bro, that's fine. I will make content out of this. This is like when Portnoy got arrested for sitting in the NFL headquarters.
Okay, maybe.
Don't arrest me though.
There we go. Back in a little bit. Back up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't arrest me. Maybe wait till August for scouting service renewal season. And then
whose was prettier, Cade's or because I didn't see Kenny's?
Cade's.
Cade. Yeah.
Kenny was like, I'm just gonna get the dude on my shoulder and get to the lane and put one up, and he hit it.
That boy flicked that wrist.
Cade came off that curl and popped that thing, and I saw it leave his hand. I'm like, fuck, man.
So I didn't even look at the stats at the end of the game. Did he play well too? Or
he went 6 of 8, had 18 points off the bench. He balled.
Wow.
Balled. And you watch Cade Tyson, like, when you saw, I don't know how much you know about Belmont basketball, but Belmont's been consistently really good.
Where?
It's in Tennessee.
Yeah, Belmont's where, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Drew Hanlon. Pretty sure Belmont's where Drew Hanlon
That is where Drew Hanlon went.
Yeah, so yes, I'm familiar with him. Because of Drew, he like walked me through the history when I did some stuff with him back in the day.
Yeah, Drew seems like a really cool dude.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, so I stayed at his house for like a week. We shot a bunch of stuff. This was like right when he was getting going, but he's one of the real people in basketball.
He, our guy Matt Handy, who's on Bernardi's staff, Prolific, worked with him for a couple summers.
He's in the chat.
Oh, he is good. I'm sure he's talking.
Or was. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, I know, he said he watched yesterday. But nah, so like when I saw Cade going to Belmont, I'm like, perfect. Like that kid's gonna be good right away. Like they
6'7" and can shoot. I don't.
And can do stuff other than shoot.
And you're not like a wild boy off the court. Like, yeah, Cade's set up to be successful.
Yeah, it's Dylan Windler. They had an NBA player that was in the same mold as Cade.
I mean, again, I'm not saying he will, but if you tell me that Cade Tyson develops over the next 4 years to become a professional basketball player, I would not be shocked by that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think he's going to be a pro. It's just a matter of if he can be a pro in America.
Cade, who was player of the year last year?
Cade.
Gatorade Player of the Year was Cade.
I want to say he was, yeah.
Okay. And if he wasn't, he was one of the finalists.
For sure.
Right, okay, that's right.
Because they said something last night like Player of the Year. He might have won like Observer Preps Player of the Year or something like that. But, yeah, no, watching that was crazy. I'm trying to think of any other like.
We didn't talk about Bob, but I just.
Yeah, Bob balled. Bob looked really good.
Like again, I think what was most fun for me last night was like watching, because not everyone has this. To go from high school to college and to have your game look similar to the way it did in high school at the college level, it's
like perfect.
It's shocking to watch. Like Bob, when you look at the highlights from the Kansas game last night, Bob looked like he was at South Granville. He was comfortable. He was driving to the basket. He wasn't going too fast. He was paced. I mean, he looked so comfortable. He had the Nelly Band-Aid on.
Yeah. If I were to describe his game in one word, float. He just kind of floats up and down the floor, and it looks just like he
exactly
did.
The way
and for him, like, I know he's really struggled with injuries last year, and I know that's been a thing for him. If he could stay healthy, like, he's going to help that Kansas team win a lot of games.
A guard with his size that can hit those little, because he had a few of those little teardrops in the lane. Mm-hmm. If you're hitting those, on top of everything else you're capable
you're
of
above the rim, you can make an open three.
A three or two every now and again. Like, yeah, the floor's going to open up for a guy like that.
And Grady Dick looked unbelievable for him.
I only saw him a couple times in high school, but he just strikes me as like, when I saw his highlights last night, I was just like, yeah, of course. Like, of course he's feeling it, yeah.
Duh. And he's also one of the funniest. He is hilarious. Like, he's the best TikTok follow of any college basketball player.
I just need to see, because you know how it is, like early season, they're obviously not playing anybody yet. And like that NC State-Kansas game, I'm glued. I'm watching every second.
Cannot wait.
Game.
Cannot
and the fact
wait.
that we know we have Max on the baseline as well, like that just adds to my. Because anytime anything crazy dope happens, not only am I excited that it happened, I'm also like, there's a camera there.
That's
like, Max has got that for sure.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Oh, Maxie. But yeah, that was good.
Central's gonna get some people.
Justin Wright balled. They were a lock plus 24. They got 24 points
last night. Central already known for being able to keep up with people. They're going to win games this year.
Yeah, they'll probably be in the tournament.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, MEAC is down to. They lost some teams. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else like North Carolina wise. The Proctor boy.
We didn't talk about Ricky yet.
Slick Rick, number 4.
Most undercovered kid. It was nobody's fault. It was really hard to cover.
He commented on. We got to make sure we show Ricky love this year. We're showing him love right now. He commented on one of our posts last year and was like, "Man, who say don't show me?" I'm like, Ricky.
Well, see, I don't have any sympathy for that because when he was a senior, we hit him up.
Oh no, he's talking about college-wise. When we were doing a lot of the college posts.
Well, the conversation was like we tried to do stuff with him, and he's like, "I can't."
Yeah.
But like when I'm gone, when I'm in college, like I can.
And
so we
crazy situation, but yeah.
Yeah, and that the situation itself was totally understandable. Like I knew that going in.
Yeah.
Asking him
because we knew that with 2.
But he was one of those kids where it's like he wasn't covered because we didn't believe in him. Like everyone around here that knew Ricky Council's basketball game knew that
he pro.
Bad mother, you know what?
Oh yeah.
And so that's another situation. Where it's like, even when I'm going to look for the dunk you told me about last night, I forgot where he goes to school now.
Oh, he's at Arkansas.
And then I see he's at Arkansas. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He's on a top 5 team.
With Walsh and Anthony Black.
They're loaded. What are they ranked right now? I don't even know. Are they
10? And Nick Smith, their best player, didn't even play last night.
They're no doubt a top 10 team. They're possibly a top 5 team by the end of the year.
Well, I was going to say, from our work with the circuit, you got to see 2 of those freshmen.
Yeah.
Walsh.
Yeah, and again, a kid that was supposed to be in the John Wall.
Yeah.
But real deal.
And Anthony Black.
The real deal.
The real deal.
They did that boy dirty. You saw how that ended up in Texas?
That's
so funny, man.
They hit him with the SMU.
It's like, you can let him play. We'll figure it out later.
Well, no. Yeah, and then they figured it out later and they banned everything.
Took the whole championship away.
Yeah, I'm surprised they suspended the women's coach, women's recruit. That Duncanville,
It's been like that since I've been around.
I know. It's been like that forever. And we're sitting here at Duncanville now. They got Ron Holland, who you saw this summer, kid from Drive Nation, and they got Cam Barnes, that big skinny kid from Team Trey Young, who's really good.
It's just like in North Carolina, if that same situation had happened, the difference is the NCHSAA would have been like, he can't play until we figure it out. Mm-hmm. Whereas they got so much pressure in Texas, they were basically like,
Well,
he can play, we can't promise you.
No, you know what he did? He did the same thing Kuminga did to play in the John Wall. He filed a restraining order against the ruling.
Right, and while it was in court, he was able to play.
Yep. So
the only reason it would suck is if you win the state championship, which they did, right?
Yeah, but if I'm a coach and my state championship gets vacated, I'm still the state champion.
You still got that ring.
Still got the ring.
It's just the book.
Whatever.
The book.
It's cool. I still remember I won it. Rick Pitino's still that 2013 national champion.
I think
that was a lot last night too.
About that is usually athletic associations don't want to do that because it looks so sloppy on your organization to have a vacant championship year.
Yeah.
Like that's even to say that's
like
wild.
Remember the Astros? Like the Astros with the MLB, they were cheating. They were stealing signs. They're not going to vacate that ever.
Right.
And they're not going to vacate this one if they get caught either.
It's the same as but same as even if you get convicted of a crime and you did not commit it, once they say guilty, for you to get them to be like, our bad, you're not guilty, we're
Good luck.
wrong.
Yeah.
Even if you have evidence and it's to get organizations to backtrack and admit they were wrong, damn near impossible.
Yeah, it's crazy, but
Anthony Black's a bucket. Jordan Walsh is a motherfucker, and they have Ricky Council just floating around.
And they have a top 5 pick that didn't play.
That's what I mean, though. No one's gonna go play Arkansas and be like, we gotta watch out for this Ricky.
And then Ricky Council has 16 points in 20 minutes.
Exactly, in your mouth.
Yeah,
just messing you up. Yeah, When I saw, you were like, oh, check out Ricky's dunk. I went and looked. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a thing. This dude spun and put it backwards
swing reverse on someone.
If you haven't watched it, I can't show it to you because they'll demonetize us. But go Google Ricky Council poster.
Yeah,
it'll pop up.
It was absurd what he was doing. I'm trying to think of any other college basketball noteworthy things that we should look at, but I think we're good. Elijah Jameson played good in his debut last night from UW Milwaukee. They got a big game tonight. They play at Purdue.
We should probably make a list of the kids, the North Carolina kids.
I know Jonas came off the bench, had some good minutes for Tennessee.
I looked at that stat line.
There's nothing too crazy. I love that Nolan Dorsey, they lost last night. Nolan Dorsey doesn't score. He just he literally is out there to guard. I did not.
I would like this. Nolan's another kid that we didn't cover a lot. But
he was also hurt the entire time.
Well, we did content with him during COVID.
It was great.
And he's awesome. He's
funny.
He's hilarious.
I remember the trainer that was talking crap about him, and he's like, "What should I say?" This isn't to give the trainer away. I just said, "Just say Love will win."
Right? Yeah. I don't care. Whatever.
That was hilarious.
But no, Nolan and Carter went Millbrook.
Carter played good last night.
Yes, that's one I missed.
Carter at Furman played good last night. He came off the bench for them.
Does have anybody that we
Lucas Taylor started.
Lucas Taylor.
But they're not looking great. Carson McCorkle started last night for Wofford, hit 3 threes.
Charlotte, UNC Charlotte?
Wofford.
No, I'm saying, did UNC Charlotte? I know
they won by 20. Nick Graves came in, hit a 3 late. Dalen Berry came in, played late. I don't know if you remember Jackson Threadgill, but he might be the most improved player.
The name, I don't remember his name.
Davidson Day, 6'6" white kid. He's a classic buzz cut grad.
No, he played against Bob.
No.
When South Granville played Providence Day, he wasn't there?
No, he was graduated at that point, I'm pretty sure. I think.
I thought he was. Was
Jackson a 20 or a 21? No, he was a 2020. He was a 2020. Because he redshirted, played a little bit last year, and then this is his third year.
If he was a 2020, he would have.
No, Bob played South Granville.
They played 21.
They played in 21. I can't really think of too much. A lot of these North Carolina teams. Oh yeah, UNC Asheville beat UCF in double overtime. Who do they have from North Carolina? Caleb Burgess, Nick McMullen. Those are really the main two. Silas Mason. But
did Mississippi State play?
I don't think. Actually, yeah, they did. I wonder what they did. I heard Shaq isn't as high in the rotation as he was last year.
That's crazy.
We'll see.
That's another player that just needs the right situation.
He'll be fine. He played 19 minutes at 11, so he's playing. He didn't shoot it well. I just don't think he's going to start like he did last year, but he's going to play a lot. But they got a really good coach there. That's another crazy one. Do you remember when Chris Jans got suspended or got fired? Do you know who Chris Jans is?
No.
So Chris Jans is a ball coach. I forgot the school he was at. It was his first year. They won the conference championship, and he basically good game. I mean, he was wrong. He good game tapped a woman on the butt at a bar after the game. and got
Good
fired.
game?
What?
Like good game?
Like literally, like it was like a good game butt tap. Not okay. Not acceptable. Got fired. Went JUCO as a coach. Got back. Got New Mexico State. Got them rolling.
That's such a drunk thing to do.
He's at a
Be
bar.
like, I think this is probably okay.
Yeah, like it wasn't anything wild, but it's like, dude, you
Urban
cannot
Meyer?
do that. What?
No Urban Meyer. Like
No, not Urban Meyer. No, Urban Meyer. No. But far from Urban Meyer.
Play high
If
with
Urban
pointer
Meyer was a
finger.
10, this is like a 3. Urban Meyer, man, good lord.
Stinky pig.
So regardless, did the crime, served the time, got fired, whatever it is, and now this is like 7 years ago. He's back now. He's the first year coach at Mississippi State. They're going to be really good, really fast because he does not mess around. So, and they're offering the right kids, like they're getting the right kids on visits. So
We did, this is random. We did parental advisory. Our boy Ray is doing, we've shot a few episodes, but he's doing a series where it's like recruitment education. So like educating parents on the recruiting process, red flags in basketball, what trainers to look for, what people to look for, but just a bunch of things to help educate people who are going through it that maybe don't know any better. We talked to Silas's mom, and Silas didn't take all his visits.
yeah.
And I was like, why didn't you?
I tell every kid, take every visit,
That's what
every
I was like.
official you can take.
They left like 2 or 3 on the table, and the Demrys. So like her approach was like, we knew where we were going, and we knew where we weren't, and so like it felt disingenuous to take a visit to somewhere we knew we weren't going to go.
That's totally fair.
I'm like, yeah, no, 100%. My first thing is like, really? Like, you didn't want to go visit, I don't know, Hawaii or Santa Clara?
I had a friend get recruited by Hawaii in football. Did not want to go there.
Of course
took that
not.
official.
Definitely. That's what I mean. Like that's where like if I have a kid that's a D1 recruit of any kind, like I'm playing that game. Like, bro, we know the couple schools you really need to go look at, but like those last 1 or 2,
So let's have a weekend.
we're going somewhere.
Let's have a weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
SEC football, like let's get it.
That exactly. Or again, like you telling me a school will pay for, hey, let's go check out Santa Clara. Where's Santa Clara? Oh, it's on the hills of Malibu. Yeah, okay, let's go check that out. You know what I mean? Like I get why you don't, but if a school is offering, just like Torian we talked about, I'm taking those braces, buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
Can you please explain that story to people that don't know?
so-
This is one of the greatest recruiting stories ever.
This is
Probably what,
playing
2010?
the game and not letting it play you. There was a kid that went to Word of God from Durham named Torian Graham.
Bucket.
Torian was really good. He probably still is good.
He's probably still playing.
No, he's doing well, but it's not basketball related. He's got some like business investment stuff going on or something.
Got you. Ended up finishing at Arizona State, was good.
That's right. Finished at Arizona State. He first committed in high school to NC State when he was, I want to say, a junior. He committed to NC State. They helped him, is how I'll say it. They helped him get braces. As soon as the braces went on, Terquavion was like, I'm going to open my recruitment back up.
Torian.
I mean, I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah. Well,
Kind of have similar games.
Torian was like, hey, thanks for these braces that you're not going to take off. I'm going to open my recruitment back up. So he basically just finessed getting his teeth fixed, and then his situation was weird. I want to say he ended up at a JUCO.
Yeah, he had a pretty complicated background. Like the fact that he is where he is now is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. But one of the best finesses, at least in North Carolina, that I've heard in a long time.
That's a first ballot finesse Hall of Fame induction.
I learned pretty early in my career, like, it's only illegal to take things from schools if that's where the kid goes.
That's a good point.
Like it's not, if someone wants to give you, that's kind of what I mean about the Miami thing. When we left Miami, like, what a fun trip. That's only a problem if player X goes there. And now because of the trip, like, no. And that's what he said to me. He's like, we're going to the school where no one offers us anything.
Yeah.
Like, we're going where it's going to make him the best pro, not who can give us. I want to say the casual comment made to us was like, well, we paid this guy this amount. A guy like him, like your guy, he's probably worth this amount. And what he meant was, like, if he comes here, what he was trying to tell us was, if he comes here, I'll give you this amount of money. Just you guys for making it happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, does he know I'm a camera guy? Like, what are we doing here?
That's
College
awesome.
basketball is great. If you've never seen the movie Blue Chips, not you, because I know you have, but if people
You're gonna laugh. I've never seen Blue Chips.
assignment, watch it, and we're talking about it.
Okay.
Look at the year it was made.
It's 95.
It tells the truth of today, even back then.
Yeah.
Shaq's in it, Penny's in it.
Yeah, I know
It's
about
in it. I mean, it's one of the best basketball movies ever. And I don't think a regular fan would agree with that. But I think someone like you who knows how the sausage is made, you will be like, I can't believe they did this that long ago. But yeah, assignment. At some point, you gotta watch Blue Chips.
I will.
And talk about it.
I will. Man, is that it for the show? Anything else of note?
I just want to because obviously, like, people who are in here with us now are like diehard people that rock with us, which is awesome. I would just say that what we've got airing tonight is episode 5 of Road to the Rafters. It's a Farmville episode. Larry starts to get a little heated in the next couple episodes, which is entertaining to watch.
I can't wait to see. Well, people know that they lost. I'm really intrigued to see what it looks like after they lose.
Yeah, all the teams actually. Like one thing.
All three teams did not win.
This is the first year we've done Road to the Rafters where one of the teams didn't win, and the 3 teams we did lost at different points of the tournament. And so I'll say, like, the Chambers episode, all of the Chambers stuff is done. Episode 8 is Chambers' last episode. Episode 8 is 18 minutes long, and I cried twice watching it back, just from like emotionally charged moments. Daniel Sanford crying in the locker room at the end is like.
No, because if Daniel's crying, it's real. Because Daniel.
No, that's what I mean. Like Daniel's a tough, hard-nosed kid, and he was crying. He had no choice. It was just he was reacting, and it was just. There's a lot of moments. The first 2 episodes are like getting us to the point.
Excited to see him make his debut tonight too.
Yes, for sure. And that's the thing, like the episode we dropped last night, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it, because like you get to see how badass Daniel Sanford is. And like Jalen Curry's a lot of fun to watch. Daniel Sanford was the anchor of that team.
No doubt.
If you listen to the way he talks to the coach, the way he addresses the players, the way he performs in the games, like he's a badass, man. And it's fun to watch. Anthony Atkinson, if you don't know anything about Ant, you need to watch, because you become a fan of his. And then again, anytime Larry gets mad or upset, it is highly entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I will say the episode that drops tonight, a referee is having a conversation with Larry, and you'll see it in the preview video. He tells him to hush and puts his.
The ref tells Larry to hush?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and while Larry's mic'd up. Yeah, so tune in tonight, 7 p.m. for that. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. as well. Thursday, we'll drop 2 episodes, and then Friday, the final one. But again, like, we worked really hard on this, so if you guys will just watch it and, like, comment or like it or tell someone to watch it, like, it makes all the difference in the world. Other than that, Friday, Saturday, Carmel Tip-Off Classic. We're live Friday night, all day Saturday. And again, we'll be here every day, 1 to 2 p.m. Again, Monday through Thursday. We're not going to do Fridays because we'll have events, and just to make it easier.
Yeah. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll see y'all soon.
All right. Appreciate y'all.